Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
What? What the fuck?
A massive shout out to Aziz, Titanium Tigers, and Burrito Voorhees for helping me out with this video. I reached out on Twitter for help and these heroes sent me entire essays of information. So today let's discuss the best wake-ups in every Mortal Kombat game. But before we start, make sure to subscribe if you're new and leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Now normally I would start off with Mortal Kombat 9, but I think we already know that title belongs to Jade. She has by far the best wake-up attack in this game. And if you don't believe me, Rio has a fantastic video on this topic and I highly recommend you check him out. And now it's time for Mortal Kombat X, and first up we have Melina with her amazing Vanish ability. And oddly enough, this move's main function is for combos, but due to its incredible speed and fast recovery, it's an equally good wake-up tool. Because not only is Melina completely invincible during the startup, but she recovers instantly, which means she can block on frame 1 and you can't do a thing about it. Or at least I think it's frame 1. I've been trying to interrupt this girl for like a solid 10 minutes and I cannot find a gap between the teleport and her block animation. And as a result, I'm convinced this wake-up is a get out of jail free card because there's nothing you can do. At worst, she is going to take chip damage and that's it. Because if you want to actually hit Melina before she has time to block, you're better off going outside and getting struck by lightning 3 times in a row. But things only get better for Melina because she can actually choose where to teleport. It's not always forward. She can teleport in place and she can even teleport away from the opponent, which means you can literally cross the opponent up on wake up, or you can teleport away to get some more breathing room, maybe zone a little bit, any number of things. This wake up is absolutely nuts. But we're still not done because you can also delay this move as well, which means you can teleport after a set period of time and then get a full combo punish on the opponent, which means you can't even guarantee chip damage against Melina because she can just hold down the fade and then punish you for trying to do anything at all. Once again, this move's intended purpose was for combos, but due to its insane recovery and invincibility on startup, it's also one of the best wake-ups in the entire game. In fact, I would argue this move is top 5 best wake-ups in all of NetherRealm games. But then next up we have Goro with his stomp, which as many of you already know is an unblockable on the way down. However, if you meter burn this move, it also gains armor on the way up. And it also hits on the way up as well, so if you're too close to Goro on his wake up, you're getting caught on the way up and on the way down. So already that's an armored wake up attack that can combo you, but to make things even crazier, Goro can aim this stomp as well, so even if you avoid the armored wake up, you still have to guess on his way down. So if you try to back up or backdash, he can catch you by holding back. If you want to forward dash instead, he can hold back and catch you that way as well. And then if you just stand there like a deer in the headlights, he can do nothing and still catch you with the unblockable. Or in other words, this character can make you guess on his wake up every single time as long as he has 1 bar of meter, unless your character has a special move that makes them go crazy far across the screen, in which case he maybe can't track you. A good example of this would be Sub-Zero slide or Reptile slide, pretty much any slide, maybe a fast teleport. If timed correctly, he may miss you with his stomp. However, for literally everybody else in the game, it's going to be a guess every time this guy gets up off the ground. As long as he has 1 bar of meter, he's armored, which means you pretty much can't interrupt him. And then when he comes down, you have to guess. Should you walk backwards, walk forward, or stay in place? You never really know for sure, and that's terrifying. And then for the final nail in the coffin, Goro recovers a lot faster than you might think, so even if you do guess correctly, good luck trying to punish him because he can block rather quickly. And that's especially true if you want to use a slide or any kind of special move to avoid him. Yeah, you avoid the unblockable, sure, but he also gets off scot-free because he can just block and avoid any potential punish. Now thankfully the damage Goro gets from the stomp is only 10%, so not a very big deal, but even so, he forces you to guess on his own wake up. He's not even scared. It's actually a benefit for him if you knock him down because this wake up is just a nightmare for you to deal with. And that reason alone is why I consider this one of the best wake ups in the entire game, because what other wake up can track you across the screen and make you guess, and it's unblockable and it's armored? It's just all around powerful. Even if its damage isn't that great, it's still a pain in the butt to have to deal with every single time you knock this guy down and he has some bar of meter. And then next up we have Kenshi's Demonic Slice. This special move might not seem like much compared to the previous two, but trust me, it's also a get out of jail free card because this special move is plus on block with a lot of pushback. That's right, you heard me correctly. It's not just safe, it is plus on block, so even after you deal with this thing, it's Kenshi's turn. And don't you dare think about interrupting it because it has several hits of armor. Most wake up moves in this game only have 1 hit of armor. This one has multiple. I think it could be 2, but it could honestly be maybe 3, who knows, because you're never gonna get that third hit off in time. And then on top of all of that, the hitbox on this thing is also crazy as well. I'm playing Devore right now, and I'm going to try to jump over this thing. As you can see, it's almost impossible. I can't get high enough to actually avoid this thing. But you know what? That's not the biggest deal. Now I'm going to jump over him. Oh, that doesn't work either because it hits behind him for whatever reason. Don't get me wrong, it is possible to jump over him, but it's very, very difficult. If you really do want to avoid this thing, you're best off trying to jump away, but even that's not a good idea because look at the range on this bad boy. It's like 2 jumping distances, so pretty much you have to block, and that's a problem because he's +6 on block, so yeah, you didn't get hit, but it's his turn to start his offense now. And when you have a move with the hitbox this amazing that is also +6 on block, that essentially means that every time the opponent knocks you down, they're just giving up their turn because they can't avoid this move, which means they have to block, and now you're plus and it's your turn to start the offense. So as you can see, I was not joking when I said this move is still one of the best wake up attacks in the entire game. And then for the icing on top, it is +24 on hit. That is amazingly good. It's almost enough time to jump over the opponent and still block in time. And this next wake up is a very interesting one, and it belongs to Tremor. This move might not seem like much because yeah, it's armored and it knocks the opponent down. It's great for pressure, all that awesome stuff. You can also change it if you want to. You can make it a launcher or a ground bounce, all that amazing stuff. So already that's pretty good, but what makes this move amazing is the fact that you can dash cancel and run cancel out of it. And run cancel is the most important part because before canceling into the run, Tremor still keeps his armor, which means he can armor a move and then run cancel and then cancel that run immediately into an attack. And don't get me wrong, that technique is much easier said than done, but once you do master it, the opponent has no way of stopping you. Pretty much any attack they do to snuff your wake up will be armored and then punished with a full combo by Tremor. Because in this game, you can cancel your run into an attack pretty much instantly as long as your fingers are fast enough. And that's why Tremor can armor through any of your options and then just punish you for a full combo. And then finally we have Smoke with his phase ability. This wake up option is very similar to Melina's. It's fully invincible on startup and pretty much a get out of jail free card. In fact, you can recover and then go for a jump in. It's just that good. And just like Melina's Fade, you can choose which direction to go. You can go forward, backwards, and constantly trick the opponent. They're never going to know which side you want to go to. However, unlike Melina's wake up, you're not even forced to block in some situations. You're pretty much able to escape every single time because the opponent has no way of knowing which phase you're going to do, so even if they wanted to do a slide or another far-reaching special move, they may guess wrong and fly in the wrong direction. And this wake up option can also be great during combos as well, but not so much for extending them. Instead, you would teleport to the other side and then go for a low or an overhead, all that annoying stuff, and the opponent had to guess every single time. So this special move is great for a lot of things, but I would argue it's also one of the best wake ups in Mortal Kombat X. And then for an honorable mention, we have Melina's regular ball roll. It might not seem like much because on block this thing is absolute death for Melina, but it has a very weird glitch about it. When used as a wake up, this ball roll around frame 3 or 4 would shrink her hurt box so low that she pretty much became unhittable. She would dodge basically every single attack in the game. Or in other words, if you knocked Melina down and then just barely mistimed your wake up pressure, she would blow through any attack as if she was completely invincible, even though she didn't spend any bar. Once again, on frame 3 or 4, she was pretty much unhittable. And in case you're wondering, this drove pro players absolutely mad because it's not fair for a character to have a move that can just make them invincible at a random frame like that. But even so, Melina had it for a good amount of time. In fact, she may still have it. And now it's finally time for Mortal Kombat 11. And in this game, NetherRealm tried really hard to give characters access to very similar wake up options. So instead of being able to use every single special move, every character in Mortal Kombat 11 has access to 2 universal wake ups. One of your options is a wake up 3. This attack is completely invincible on startup and will therefore beat pretty much any attack your opponent goes for as you're getting up. And then your other attack option is up 2. This tends to have a much better range, but the downside is it has no invincibility, so it could lose to an incoming attack. Now if you ask me, Scorpion actually does have one of the best wake ups in the entire game, but it's for a pretty boring reason. His invincible option is very safe on block. There are some characters whose wake up 3 is safe despite having invincibility. However, they're normally barely safe. Like we're talking -6, maybe -7, which is only safe against some characters, or -8, which is hard to punish but still technically punishable. But then we have Scorpion because his wake up 3 is -2 on block. That is extremely good. It's barely minus at all. So if you ever wondered why Scorpion players do an up 3 and then mash down 1 anyway, well now you know why, because they're barely minus to begin with. Unless you do one of your fastest moves after blocking their up 3, they can still beat beat you with a jab or another fast attack. And that's why a lot of Scorpion players are so darn mashy. Even after you block their wake up invincible move, they can keep attacking you and maybe they'll win. Once again, it's not a very exciting reason for this wake up to be good, but it's still good nonetheless. And if it's boring, blame Mortal Kombat 11 because NetherRealm made the wake ups very straightforward in this game. And you know what? I would argue that Kung Lao's wake up is actually pretty interesting because typically the one downside of an up 3 in this game is they don't have a very good vertical hitbox. So yeah, they're invincible, but the opponent can jump straight up and then punish you on the way down with a full combo. However, against Kung Lao, that's a bad idea because his up 3 is one of the better anti-airs in the game, at least when it comes to wake ups. And that's because not only does this move hit all around him, but he also hits twice, and due to the animation, that means he has a much bigger window to catch you out of the air. And then to make things even more interesting, Kung Lao actually has time to combo after this wake up, which I guess does make sense because Kung Lao is one of the combo characters in this game. He can combo you in pretty much every situation, and that includes his wake up. Now, of course, the downside is the damage in this combo is going to be very, very low. Even if you use X-Ray, it's still not going to hurt very bad. However, even so, Kung Lao's wake up 3 is so good that I almost recommend never using up 2 as a wake up option because this move also hits above you and it's invincible and it lasts for a long amount of time. Don't get me wrong, up 2 can also be good after a flawless block, but as a wake up option, it's just not that great. You're better off using up 3 instead. And then next up we have Garrus. People have known this guy's wake ups are good since day one. For starters, his wake up 3. This thing pretty much hits all around him and that includes above him. So very similar to Kung Lao. It's got a great hitbox and it's invincible on wake up. However, keep in mind it is fully punishable on block, so you can't just go for it all the time. But if the opponent wants to knock you down and then go for anything besides block, it's a great option. And then if the opponent wants to keep their distance, you have up 2 because the range on this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Not just in front of Garrus, but also above him as well. This thing is a giant flying hitbox and it starts combos. And as a result, this wake up option is godlike as well. And it's also one of the best flawless block responses in the game because it's really fast and has fantastic range. Just an all-around great up 2. And you know what? I also want to gush about Shao Kahn a little bit because check out the range on his up 3. It's absolutely ridiculous. The opponent can't crouch under it and it's fully invincible on startup like everybody else's, but just check out the crazy range on this thing. And don't even think about jumping over it because his up 2 has ridiculous range as well. In fact, I think the idea is to scare the opponent into jumping with your up 3, and then when they finally go for it, just catch them with the up 2 because the range on this thing is nonsense. And then once you land the move, hit him with the Shao Kahn nonsense. We all know this guy has some big boy damage, which makes his up 2 that much better. And there you have it, everyone, the best wake up attacks in every Mortal Kombat game developed by NetherRealm Studios. Make sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video, and then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.